Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Zane. Today we'll have a look at Star Atlas. Today we'll also take a look at the Atlas token and the Polis token. So there's two different tokens for Star Atlas, this blockchain crypto game. I'll explain in a quick summary what Star Atlas is, but we've got a lot of things to go through today, most notably the tokens itself, starting with the Polis token, the decentralized autonomous organization token itself. We'll also take a look at the Atlas token as well. These are two different tokens for two different purposes, but they're both Star Atlas token. And obviously, as you can see, the price differences are huge. You're looking at the Atlas token itself, it's like 12 cents, almost 13 cents. But on the other hand, the DAO, the Polis token itself, is $7.78. We'll also take a look at other things as well. These are some of the most recent news. This was actually published in the early parts of November, but I didn't get a chance to review this, so we're going to go through this today. We'll also take a look at the white paper. We've never had a look at Star Atlas white paper before, so today we're going to do an in-depth review and basically a deep dive into this token by taking a look at the white paper. Fantastic, so let's get started. Now, before we continue with this video, allow me to declare that this video is not financial advice. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes and for educational purposes. So what exactly is Star Atlas? Star Atlas is a virtual gaming metaverse where the three faction battle for resources, embark on territorial conquests to achieve political domination. Players of the Star Atlas games, they can become citizens of one of these factions. Each four factions represent geopolitical ideology that determines the influence of a player will have on an intergalactic conflict. The Star Atlas crypto ecosystem was built on Solana blockchain. The Solana blockchain is the fastest blockchain in the world, and it facilitates a secure gaming experience that is largely serverless. Furthermore, thanks to the Solana blockchain, the Star Atlas game uses a non-fungible token as part of their in-game economy. This in-game economy mirrors real-world economics built around real-world assets ownership. Now, as for Solana, being a next-generation blockchain processing over 50,000 transactions per second at sub-second finality, a transformative protocol for truly scalable application. And that's who Star Atlas chose to be partnered with. That's who they chose. That's the platform they chose to develop Star Atlas on top of, which is a really smart decision because Solana is absolutely amazing, especially right now. It's killing it. In terms of what Solana specifies in, they are the absolute best for what they can offer, especially at this time. You're looking at what Ethereum is doing. However, the fact that the cost of using Ethereum is so high, this gives cryptos like Solana and Avalanche a huge advantage in the market. Now, it is important that we have a look at the cryptos right now because recently they were actually doing really well, especially in the latter parts of November. What you have to realize is that in the last few days, the crypto market in general has been on a downward trend. It's been on a decline. And that doesn't seem so good, especially for low cap cryptocurrencies such as the Polis token and for the Atlas token as well. So we have to have a look at both tokens and try to do a price analysis and possibly a price prediction for the tokens. Now, before we get into the white paper, let's just go through this one bit of news that we can go through really quickly and really swift. So the countdown starts. Inbound wave 4 spaceship drop featuring payments with Atlas. So brace yourself for 4 heavily anticipated new intergalactic spaceships, which will now also be available for purchase with the in-game Atlas currency. So that's quite good. Speaking of the in-game currency, the Atlas token, that's 12 cents. So this is the main native token for the Star Atlas platform. This token also has a huge supply. You're talking like 2.1 billion in circulating supply, and in max and total supply, the exact amount, 36 billion. That's really extraordinary. And lately, it hasn't been doing too well. In fact, the last time it was down this low was actually around the 19th of November. Now, the interesting thing is that if you're looking at Star Atlas from around the end of September, you'll actually notice that overall, despite the fact that it's going down right now along with the market, it's actually on an upward trend. Yes, it's going down, but if you notice the patterns are actually quite consistent with what the crypto is doing overall. It's actually been doing really well recently, plenty of volume. So while it is on a downward trend as we speak, overall it's actually doing well because the entire market is in a downward trend. So you've got to keep that in mind. Now, as of November the 9th, yes, this news is a bit old, but it's still relevant to what we're talking about today. No less than 4 spectacular starships will become available on the Galactic Marketplace. Now, obviously, this is a crypto game. It's a blockchain game. So if you don't have a good understanding of blockchain games or crypto games, or you're not interested in crypto games, then you might not understand the importance of these 4 galactic ships, these 4 spaceships that are being brought to the Galactic Marketplace. You might not understand the significance. If you're here simply for the token itself, you believe in the token, the Star Atlas main token, the native token, then you're in a good place. You're in the right place, because we're going to talk about that as well. But first, we got to understand why this is important. Why introducing spaceships for the use in Star Atlas cryptocurrency is so important. So the 4th ship, Wave, will also debut a new feature, which is repayment with the Star Atlas in-game currency Atlas. The availability of each ship supplies in Wave 4 will be in a 50-50 ratio of Atlas and UDSC. Half of the quantity set for purchases exclusively with Atlas, and other half exclusively with USDC, after which they will continue to trade in both markets simultaneously. The same feature will roll out to all existing spaceships on the Galactic Marketplace. Each ship will receive the options for trading on both Star Atlas, the Atlas token itself, and the UDSC. So for the time being, this will not apply to other in-game assets. Unsold factory inventory of ships from previous drops will be split between both markets eventually. And as for new ships, the 4 new spaceships are listed in this article, so you can actually go check this out for yourself to get some more in-depth information on these if you're actually interested deeply in the crypto gaming scene. And if you're also looking for a glimpse of some of these spaceships and how the in-game video game will work, this is a good place to visit, because it gives you a really good visual of what this game will be like, what they're going for, what they're hoping to achieve. Good visual representation of how well this cryptocurrency is doing and how high they're aiming. They've got a huge ambition. So let's get into the white paper. This is the main white paper. I also have the Tokenomics white paper as well, but we're going to focus more on the main white paper. Now, we already understand what Star Atlas is, but the reason for doing this is hopefully to get everyone more educated on Star Atlas, get you involved in the actual white paper. I think it's really important to always read the white papers of any crypto you're interested in. Once again, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. So we know that Star Atlas is a virtual gaming metaverse that is based in 2620. In this distant future, 3 major factions have emerged, and they talk about these factions. So these factions are in an ongoing struggle for resources, territory conquests, and political domination. So you, as a faction citizen of Star Atlas, will have the ability to influence the outcome of this intergalactic conflict while creating opportunities to earn rewards for your contributions. So this document describes the adventure ahead for new recruits. The metaverse introduces a unique gaming experience through the combination of both traditional core game and blockchain mechanics. And they've got a full list on this for the blockchain mechanics and for the core game mechanics. From blockchain-based in-game currencies such as the Atlas and Polis tokens, fully decentralized non-fungible tokens, asset ownership, such as the ships we were talking about earlier in our article on Star Atlas, those are NFT assets. So that's really fascinating. Real-time smart contracts execution of game scenarios built on Solana blockchain protocol, DeFi directly integrated into game interface via Serum. They are heavily built into Solana because Serum itself is actually built on top of Solana. So what an ecosystem, so powerful, so strong. Additionally, decentralized digital currency exchange and automated market making. That's an AMM in-game. Not to mention NFT marketplace for direct peer-to-peer exchange for assets. On-chain governance model providing players with the ultimate level of political control. Play for keys, gameplay, high risk, high reward style with players' assets at stake. And on the other hand, you've got core game mechanics, grand strategy, space exploration, land and territory control, vehicle and fleet control, including a broad variety of spaceships, space and land-based mining operations, player versus environment missions, players versus environment missions, players versus players combat, dynamic career system harnessing, specialized equipment, and this is actually built in Unreal Engine 5. So really powerful, really famous engine to build video games. Plenty of video games are actually built in Unreal Engine 5. And for the last but not least, VR enabled. Really fantastic. And this is the way out there slowly introducing a metaverse starting with a video game. So the purpose of this paper is to provide a high level of overview of the blockchain-based space-themed video game, Star Atlas. The core of this paper represents compelling applications from blockchain technology and how it can be utilized to create an engaging video game, symbiotically fuel each other to create a cohesive experience online and offline. So this is not intended as a deep technical white paper, but an introduction to Star Atlas for general business reader and inspirational Star Atlas spaceship captain. This is not necessarily a deep dive into Star Atlas, but it explains to you the fundamentals, and it's a fairly long white paper. It's like 42 pages long. Executive roles, and the list goes on. So lots of information that are in this white paper, some more useful than others, but today we're mostly going to be aiming for the most useful information, such as tokenomics. How important is tokenomics for everyone? The activities and value creation within the ecosystem would not be possible without a robust tokenomics structure for all assets within the game. And the Polis token, which is the DAO token, implemented as SPL tokens, land ownership NFTs. That's really interesting because land ownership of NFTs in the blockchain gaming space is becoming such a huge business, especially land NFT real estate. It's actually called real estate. That's actually really incredible. You would never imagine something like that 10 years ago. In-game items such as ships, equipment, crew, ship components, building, and blueprints. And additionally, in-game resources, fungible assets that are produced by miners and consumed by production. Now, in terms of the monetary assets, these are how the tokens are described. Let's start with the DAO token. This is the governance token used as each level of governance, representing financial stake in the game, voting power in the DAOs where it is stake, and control of the treasury. It has a fixed supply that will not grow unless a decision to the contrary will be made by governance down the line. And on the other hand, you've got the Atlas token, the main currency of exchange. It's the payment token that is used as a medium of exchange. It is inflationary, aiming to match the growth of the in-game economy and provide a solid monetary base for in-game economy interactions and on-ramp to enter the actual game. Fascinating. And if you don't find that fascinating, then I'm surprised. Now they do go into details on how Polis can be acquired, and this is why I think it's so important for you to check out this white paper for yourself if you've even got the slightest curiosity about Star Atlas as a video game, a blockchain video game, or as a cryptocurrency. Now for the token distribution for the Polis token, that is the governance token, 30% is going to teams, 40% is to rewards and emissions, 22.5% is to private sales and public sales. Public pre-sales, they get 1.5%, public token sales 2%, listing liquidity pools, they get 4%. And there is the token emission pool, which would be injected directly into the Polis governance token rewards pool via a smooth curve over 8 years, dropping the entire rewards pool over this time, unless the DAO rules otherwise. With a super majority, the vision for the DAO interventions is that the organization will be set semi-annual targets based on the observed economy metrics, which will be adjusted, dropping the schedule accordingly. For the Polis governance token for the next 8 years of release, all up until the 1st of October in 2029. That's actually really, really amazing. So you can take a look at this for yourself. It is on the white paper and it's really simply explained. Now, on the other hand, for the native token, the Atlas token, emissions and rewards, they get 65%, teams are 5%, private token sales 22.5%, public pre-sales 1.5%, 2% to public token sales, and 4% to listing liquidity pools. So most of the private sales, public sales, and the listing and liquidity, they're roughly the exact same as the governance DAO Polis token. And naturally, they go through an explanation of how the circulating supply of the Atlas token will work. It's a currency for the medium. It's an exchange currency as a medium. You have to realize that this currency has to be properly managed if indeed Star Atlas is to succeed as a blockchain video game. And because this space is still developing, it's still evolving, these new blockchain-based games need to be as adaptable as possible and as open to new ideas and new development as possible. But I'm super happy that they do have a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. The individuals who are part of this DAO are incentivized to make the best decision for the protocol and developing the protocol to be better for the future. Naturally, as far as the tokenomics goes, it goes into more incredibly detailed, complicated information such as cash flow, emission, burn, DAO components, parameter gadgets, DAO defined. They go through a lot of information. Now, ships, containers, equipments, every Star Atlas is an NFT recorded on the blockchain. This means that the origin of each item can be backtracked, so the creation and such as every item used in game is unfakeable. NFTs can be purchased with Star Atlas using Atlas or on secondary marketplace using other Solana supported currencies. And with the tokenomics, as far as I'm aware, it continues even into land ownership, NFT land ownership. What is the NFT land ownership real estate market's going to look like in 5 to 10 years? Is this something that people will actually use as a realistic investment? It's really fascinating to watch the space grow. Now, as for the government's token, the Polis token, the long-term vision of Star Atlas is an autonomous, player-owned game, fully controlled and fueled by decentralized governance. Therefore, from its early stage, the economy is architected to run through a hierarchy of DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, fueled by governance token Polis and cash flow at Atlas token. Fascinating. And obviously it goes into more details as goals and structures and gets really fascinating, but perhaps a little bit complicated. So the best way to continue this video is to actually take a look at the additional white papers. Because so far this has been the economy white paper, and yes, it's taught us some important information, but the normal white paper also has some very useful information as well. This brings us into the hybrid space genre of blockchain games, birth of a universe in this actual game. So it's really cool. This white paper has a lot of information. Both white paper indeed have a lot of information, and they're both useful. Now, as for the price analysis and price prediction, like I said, since the end of September, early parts of October, it's been taking itself It's been taking itself very serious and forming some really interesting patterns. Let's take a look at the first pattern. At the start of October, this one priced around 7 cents, and it actually shot up to a price around 12, 13 cents in a matter of days in the early parts of October. So that is our first indication of a pattern occurring, because around the 12th of October, it actually fell back down to around 8 cents, just under 9 cents. The next time this occurred was actually at the end of October. The end of October, but interestingly, the start of November was a very good time for Star Atlas. And it was the same in the previous month. At the start of October, very good time. So we're starting to notice that at the start of each month, it tends to do really well. So let's take into account what happened at the end of October, but the start of November, it did really well. It functioned really well. And we're actually looking at some high points up here, almost 20 cents per coin, almost 20 cents per coin. That was about 19 cents per coin. That's really fascinating. This was around the 8th of November. Notably, around the 19th of November, dropped back down to around 12 cents. It shot back up, but even higher this time, above, far and above 20 cents, around 21 cents in fact. So the question is, yes, at the end of the month, we usually see that the crypto is going down, which is exactly what's happened towards the end of November. But what really took place was that at the start of December, it started going down, but that's just in the last couple of days. So the question is, can it actually perform the same magic that it's been performing, the same patterns? Can it keep up these patterns? And here's the thing, I don't think it necessarily will, because the crypto market is on a downward trend anyway. It's on a downward trend. Got to take this into account. We're going to put this in red. The question is, from where it is right now, around 12 cents, how far can it go? 10 cents, 9 cents, 8. I actually don't know. So it's going to be quite interesting to watch this landscape. But as far as reoccurring patterns, I don't think this will be happening. The crypto market isn't doing particularly well right now. In fact, there's rumors going around that Bitcoin is actually crashing, which I think is a little bit over exaggerated. Don't get me wrong, Bitcoin is at 49,000 US dollars, and a few days ago it was much higher. And what I mean by that is that around the 3rd of December was actually like 56,000 US dollars, around 58,000 US dollars sometime around the start of December this was. When Bitcoin starts going down in value and Ethereum is going down in value, it usually reflects on the rest of the crypto market. You have a look at the rest of the crypto market and you'll notice that there's a lot of coins that are in red, that are going down, they're losing value. And this is very common in the crypto market. If you've been in the crypto market for a couple of years now, you'll understand exactly what I mean. It's not a big deal though. It's actually a good thing when these cryptos go down in value, because it just means that their rise from such a huge fall will be even more significant. It will be even more special to see them rise again from the ashes. So back to our price analysis, like I was saying, I don't think the reoccurring pattern will occur once again in the month of December, because if it did, we're looking at it. We're expecting it to actually make some movements around exactly where it is right now. If it keeps on falling below 12 cents and possibly even around 10 cents, that will be quite significant, quite important. But I think most likely it will be going down, but not for a very long time. I think that's just an effect of being a cryptocurrency in the competitive market that they're currently competing in. What's interesting is that the circulating supply is only 21.6 million coins in circulating supply. So the circulating supply is extremely low. In fact, it's roughly around the same as the max supply for Bitcoin. Obviously, the circulating supply for Bitcoin is different from the max supply. But if you're looking at the charts right now, you'll notice that compared to the other Star Atlas token, it's almost like night and day. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. We're looking at possibly the last 30 days. Take a look at this crypto. Let's go back to the end of September. It's a good place to start of October. And similar thing happened with this crypto, happened with the Atlas crypto as well. At the start of October, it had a huge price rally. Price went up extremely high. It was new price discovery territory, around $10 at the time. Yes, if you take into the math, since the start of October till now, the actual growth is more than $1. Yes, it's been going down, but nevertheless, it's still been above $1 in profit. So these are the patterns that I'm seeing that are occurring within this crypto. Yes, there's a growth in this crypto and the other crypto as well. You can see the growth, but the native coin is actually doing much better in growth. You can see that for yourself. It's actually quite fascinating. So this is the growth in the last 3 months, give or take, for the normal Atlas token. It's grown from around 7 cents to almost 13 cents to where it is right now. So that's quite significant. Now compare this level of growth. You see what I'm drawing up. You see the patterns that have occurred. Compare this with the DAO token. Yes, they're both growing. They're both in an upward trajectory despite having some downward activities throughout the last 3 months. But that's all part of the crypto game. So I'm drawing up for you. So I'm drawing up those lines for you so you can understand it a bit more clearly. That's all part of the crypto game. But nevertheless, we're seeing more positive growth rather than negative, especially in the DAO token. But rather in the Atlas token, it's just a stronger growth with more volume overall. So that is it from a price analysis and price prediction. We've gone through the white paper. We haven't gone through everything. This would take us hours. If I did a live stream on the white paper for Star Atlas, you're looking at 1-2 hours most likely. Around 2 hours most likely. At least 1 hour. At the max, maybe 2 hours most likely. To go through both white paper, fully in depth, reading everything. That'll take a long time. But today we touched on the most important subjects. So thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, and of course, feel free to join our Discord server. A link is in the description below. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.